It's Wednesday, October 1st. I'm going to read the blurb of, in accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate and alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by joining Zoom meeting ID number of 840-0877-2826 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Carly Antonellis, the Assistant Town Manager, at atm@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 100 prior to the meeting during the business hours. So I've called the meeting to order. I think there was be like about 7:02. Colleen, welcome. All right, gotcha.
Hey, sorry, I was a couple minutes late.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Do appreciate it, especially on a beautiful day like today. I want to let you all know too, this is being AI recorded. If anybody has any issues, state it now, and I can have Chuck stop it. Or this is way we're moving towards. So I'm hearing crickets, so we'll let that run.
Oh, I only have one thing. If I
Yeah.
take my hat off, will it give me hair? Somebody wants to manipulate it? No? All right. Never mind then.
We'll do it.
Hair for Barry.
Oh, poor Chuck. Poor Barry. All right. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda if everybody thinks that it's okay, that there's no corrections, additions, or whatever?
So moved.
Barry makes the motion, Colleen seconds. Since we're on Zoom, let's do roll call. Jess?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Colleen?
Aye.
And the chair says aye. Okay, minutes. Jess, they're really good. I do have two things though.
Okay.
Okay. See, Ken, I don't do it just to, the housing authority. I do, adjust minutes for others. I don't have a printout, so bear with me. On page 3, right at the top, it talks about do not meet affordable standards.
Okay.
All right, I think we need to add a little bit of information on that where they go above 80%.
i.e. if if income is above 80%.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. I think that will work out good. And then, pardon? All right,
Yeah, I'll make that change.
okay, and then on page 5, with regards to the presentation, which we do have the public hearing today, the second bullet about the 2 generators are needed.
Yeah.
Building B, which holds 20 units.
Yep.
All right, the generator in this building will allow for the continued running of, let's put the elevator in there because that.
Oh, there's, okay.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
that will help the 10 units that are on the second floor.
Okay.
All right, please.
I can do that.
All right. Anybody have anything else with regards to the minutes?
Nope.
Okay, so can I hear a motion to accept the minutes as amended, please?
So move.
All right, Colleen makes the first motion and Julie makes the second. Roll call, Jess?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Colleen?
Aye.
And the chair says aye. Okay, correspondence and invoices. The only correspondence was there was a, well, let's see, never mind. I'm going to put that to committee reports. There really wasn't any additional correspondence. So with that, if there's nothing else that anybody else has, I'd like to go ahead and open the public hearing. I know I always ask this. I really don't need a motion to open up the public hearing, right, Jess?
Right, right.
Okay, I just need to read it.
You declare it.
I declare that we open the public hearing, and let me read the notice. Regarding the Air Housing Authority funding request for generators. Notice is hereby given in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 44B, Community Preservation, that the Air Community Preservation Committee will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, October 1st at 7 p.m. The purpose of this meeting will be to review the funding application from the Air Housing Authority for CPA funds to help support the cost of purchasing and installing generators for buildings B and C at 18 Pond Street. All residents, members of the general public, and any person interested in wishing to be heard for the application request may call 978-772-8220 extension 100 during business hours or prior to the meeting for Zoom meeting information. Community Preservation Committee, Janet Providakis, the chair. And we do have Ken Martin, who is the owner of his block and the second block of K Martin, present with us to go ahead and tell us a little more information. Ken, thank you very much for making time. We do appreciate it. Go for it.
Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. As you know, I've been around a long time, and one of the most important things that has happened for senior housing in the last few years was the opportunity to put in generators. We were able to put generators at Pleasant Street School through CPC funding, and we were able to get a state grant for 34 units, 3-story building at 18 Pond Street, referred to as Building A. That has made a huge difference for the residents who live in these buildings. We have disabled and seniors living in these buildings. At Pleasant Street, it's strictly elderly people, and we've had some very senior elderly, shall we say, at Pleasant Street School, and a number of occasions when the power went out. It has been life-saving because we have people who are on ventilators, we have people who are on dialysis machines, and the other issue that we've had is that when there's an emergency, the fire department's not walking down 4 flights of stairs. So we've seen the real benefit at Pleasant Street School and also in A building. In A building, what happens, because our senior site, we have 3 buildings, A, B, and C, where A has the generator. When power does go out, we do have some of the residents of the other 2 buildings going to bunker in A building to recharge their phones, or they go with their oxygen and whatnot. So we have attempted to get some additional state funding, and we have not been successful. But we have an opportunity here. B building has 20 units, as Janet has referred to. It's a 2-story building. So the key components of any time that the power goes out, especially for the seniors in the wintertime, is the heat, because we all know as we age, we like to keep that thermostat up because we're cold, and I happen to be a senior, so I can relate to that. The elevator being a key, as well as their air conditioners, which we do not have central air conditioning in the building, but we have window ACs, and we have people who run those ACs because of their breathing problems and whatnot. So there is a real need in the building for that, for B building. For C building consists of our office space, but most importantly, we have a 7-person congregate. That 7-person congregate is shared living, where 7 individuals have a bedroom and a half bath, and then they share the kitchen, living space, sitting rooms, TV rooms. They are mostly frail elderly because they cannot live independently in either A building, B building, or Pleasant Street School. So they have support services that allow them to live somewhat independent with other people around to assist them. And of course, then they have homemakers that come in, nurses that come in, and whatnot. This building also, for the last 40 years, has housed the Council on Aging in the lower level of the building. We have a recreation room also in the lower level. And during the Council on Aging, as you are very much aware, Council on Aging has grown and their space is limited. So during the day, they use our big recreation room to run things for the seniors. We looked at this, that not only would we be able to keep the senior center open if we lost power for a couple of days or something of that nature, it could also be an opportunity for townspeople. It could be a location. I know we've used schools, but one of the biggest problems that we have when there's an outage, we have seniors that refuse to leave their units because they're petrified. And the last time that we had an outage, the police department and the fire department went unit to unit, try to convince people to go. And it was reluctantly, some did go, but there were a number of seniors that were not willing to leave their homes. So if we are successful utilizing CPC funds to provide generator for these 2 buildings, it will make a real life difference for the seniors who live here and future seniors who would reside in these 2 buildings.
All right.
And
I
just to clarify for the minutes, this is an ask of $230,000
Correct.
for viewers. Yes.
And that would be for 2 generators.
Yes.
So does that mean like each generator is 150?
It'll be sized accordingly to the building.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Does that include installation?
Yes.
And then,
This is going on some rough estimates, but it also is based on what happened at Pleasant Street School. And at Pleasant Street School, we asked for a little bit more money, but we ended up returning money back to CPC.
correct.
So if you want to extend it another 20 grand, that's fine. We can always return the money if we don't use it.
Well, what do you need, Ken?
Well, we think we can do it for $230,000, as long as there's nothing unforeseen underground. Because when these buildings were built back in 81 and part of 82, all the underground wiring was direct burial. It was not in conduit like it's required code today. So we're just keeping our fingers crossed that we will be okay, and that we'll be able to mark the areas. DigSafe will be able to mark the areas. But it's like anything else. Like an old house, when you start taking walls down, you find things that you didn't foresee. But we're hoping that's not the case.
All right. I have in my mind two things. One, Beth wanted to make sure that if, say, if you've looked for other type of funding, and you said that you tried for state, and that has not been successful. But if the community room downstairs can be used as a type of shelter area, she thinks that there may be other type of grants with regards to a shelter. I don't know whether or not that's sort of like lumped up with, what the request was from the state, to the state. Have you looked for any other additional funding?
No, that's the only funding that we have looked at this particular point.
Okay, all right.
I don't really want to talk about shelter after the money that the state has spent on shelter in the last thing. That's it's a very sensitive issue at all levels, even when the secretary was talking about that when he visited us, Secretary of Housing, because, they went through some tough times with that.
Right, I probably shouldn't have used the word shelter. It's more
But that's what it could be. It could be, it's not a permanent shelter. It could be, for a day or so that we could allow people with the Council on Aging, they could bus some of the seniors in the community to that building, where it's warm and and they can plug in their phones and, because they don't always want to go to the school. And because it's a small site, you might have a better opportunity to have some seniors willing to go to a smaller site. I know people are going to say, well, they're best, at the school. But when we get to be the age of some of our residents, they're pretty set in their ways, and they're very cautious a lot of times, and so we have to take that into consideration when we do it. If they don't have to go far from their house, even though there's no power in their house, they'd be more reluctant,
Especially if it's something like an ice storm.
You're right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure about that. And then it's like, let me ask the committee. I know we usually try to have some sort of overage, the request is 230, go 250. I see Jess saying
Yeah.
yes.
I think
mean,
that makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah, I agree with that. If you're not exactly sure that 230 would cover it, then I would definitely go the more, because you can't ask for more at the town meeting. So
right.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's because, remember, we're doing preliminary estimates, because we really didn't have the money to hire an engineer to get specific amounts.
Okay,
Well, yeah, I mean, that just makes sense. Why pay money to an engineer when we can add a bit to this, and then if it's not used, it comes back to us, so.
correct.
And we have done that in 2 cases. Just so you know, we've done that in 2 cases. We did that when we did the elevators a number of years ago. We returned some funds, and we did it at the Pleasant Street School, because we know how important this funding is, and we appreciate the townspeople that have been very cooperative in assisting, our seniors.
Okay,
And this has been done, I think, Janet, you and I have had some conversations. I'm not sure how much you shared with the committee, but North Andover just did this recently. So this is an acceptable funding source. And I think there's, I don't know, is there another 19?
there's
Housing
19, yeah, 19 communities with 22 units. So more, there's communities that have got more than one air conditioning, generator. So, yeah, we spoke about that last meeting. So it is an approved use throughout.
and
the state.
Jan, have you spoken to town council that would be a valid use for CPC funds?
I haven't spoken, but I've spoken with Robert, and Robert has taken it up with town council.
Okay.
Okay, so yes. Yep, we're covered. I don't see anybody from the public. I'm just looking. All right, is there anything from the committee? Any other questions or concerns?
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
Okay, so can I get a Motion to move this to, as a warrant to town meeting for the request of $250,000 for the two generators for air housing buildings B and C.
So moved.
All right, Barry makes the motion.
Second.
All right, Colleen seconds. Roll call. Jess,
I,
Julie,
Yes.
Barry,
Aye.
very good from Hawaii. Colleen,
Aye.
Kevin.
Yes.
All right, and the chair says aye as well. I need buckos. Okay, so it's unanimous. Ken, it will be going to town meeting October 27th. I will go ahead and change the draft warrant that I generated for Robert to mark it as 250,000. And it will probably come out of undesignated reserve because we only have 230 in community housing. So.
Well, thank you. I'd like to thank the committee. I'm sure that the seniors are going to be thrilled when I report to them that the committee unanimously supports this. And I'm sure you'll see some of those residents at town meeting to express their thank you and vote the approval. So thank you very much.
Excellent.
You're
All
welcome.
right. Okay, so with that being done, I'd like to go ahead and get a request to close the public hearing.
So
so
moved.
I Jess made the motion, Julie seconded. I got to do roll call. Jess,
I,
Julie,
Yes.
Barry,
Aye.
Colleen,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
and the chair says aye. All right, so the public hearing is now closed. All right, Ken, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thank
Can
you.
Bye.
you close
And
both
go-
windows?
And go Red Sox.
You got it. All right, thanks. Okay, next on the agenda is the review of the warrant articles. I sent them to you earlier today, so I apologize. I was waiting to hear back from Robert because I wrote down that these are going to come from the undesignated reserve category, which really is the combination of undesignated and budgetary reserve. So I haven't really heard back from him. But again, these are drafts. We send them to Robert. Robert sends them to town council. Town council still does their stuff. And what you see may not be exactly printed in the warrant. But the first article is for Devon's Crest Affordable Housing Support to see if the town will vote to transfer from Community Preservation Fund undesignated reserve category the sum of 400,000 to support the creation of affordable housing at the Devon's Crest Apartments located at 35 Littleton Road, or take any action thereon or relation thereto. And the explanatory note is this article would authorize 400,000 from the CPA undesignated reserve category to support the reducing of the affordability of the 80% AMI, area median income, to a 60% AMI, thus helping lower income families with their monthly rental costs. The Community Preservation Committee held a public hearing on September 17th, 2025. Information is available on the Community Preservation website. Straight to the point. Does anybody have any concerns of what was written?
No, I do not.
I just had one question, and maybe this will just come up at town meeting and doesn't need to be said. Do we need to say how many units this is going to fund bringing down from 80 to 60, or should we say to bring additional units from 80 to 60? Because the way it's written, it sounds like it's just a single unit, and I think with what we're giving, it should be more than a single unit.
Correct, and it should be, okay.
So I don't know if there's a better way to word it, or maybe it's just fine because they'll get the information. You know, if they want more information, it can be.
Yeah, but
That's it.
the thing that I'm finding out is with these warrant articles, you always look back to past ones for, okay, what really say that it was going to do. All right, so you're right. I think we do need, because I think, what did, Jess, maybe you've got it off the top of your head, because I don't have my print off of the minutes. Wasn't it 2 to 3 units?
I thought it was at least 3. Um,
Because I think we're, let me,
I think for the housing trust, our 170, we wrote it as 1 to 2.
2, correct. So this one's got to be 2 to 3. I don't think it's 3. I don't think it's 3 to 4,
I don't think it is either. I think it's 2 to 3.
because then that would give us 5. But maybe, I don't know why 6 is coming into my head.
well, there was the question of fractions,
Correct.
which is not something that can be resolved at this particular moment. So I would just, you know, I don't know, say maybe 2 to 3 or more.
All right, let's see.
2 to 3 at least.
Yeah. Yeah. The presentation that I was working with Connie on, it says 2 to 3 units.
Yeah.
All right. So I think maybe, do you think I think it should be in the explanatory note where it's reducing the affordability of 2 to 3 80% AMI units.
Yeah, I think definitely the explanatory note is where
Yeah.
it should be, just so people are clear that there'll be a few units that.
Okay, so then this article would authorize 400,000 from the CPA undesignated reserve category to support reducing the affordability of 2 to 3 80% AMI units to a 60% AMI. Okay,
Yep.
excellent. Colleen, thank you very much. That was a good catch. Okay, can I get a motion to accept the warrant article to send it to Robert with that correction?
So moved.
Okay, Barry first, Colleen second, Jess,
Aye.
Julie,
Yes.
Barry,
Aye.
Colleen,
Aye.
Kevin,
Yes.
and the chair says aye. All right, awesome. Okay, the second is Community Preservation Fund Air Housing Authority request for generators at 18 Pond Street. To see if the town will vote to transfer from Community Preservation Fund undesignated reserve category for the sum of 22,000, right, 250,000 to support the purchase and installation of 2 separate generators for building B and C at the Air Housing Authority, 18 Pond Street. The explanatory note, I just love saying that word. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This article would authorize $250,000 from CPA undesignated reserve category to support the purchase and installation for 2 separate generators at buildings B and C at the Housing Authority's location at 18 Pond Street. The Community Preservation Committee held a public hearing on October 1st. Information available on the Community Preservation website. Straight to the point?
Yep.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept it?
I'll make a motion to accept the warrant article for 250,000.
Excellent. Can I get a second?
Seconded.
All right, Colleen first, Julie second. Jess,
Aye.
Julie,
Yes.
Barry,
Aye.
Colleen,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
and the chair says aye. All right. So I will send these to Robert tonight, and I will send you guys a copy of it, because I will remove the word draft.
And
What was that?
and you have the 2 locations to change 230,000 to 250. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, I got to do the 2 to 3 and then the 230 to 250. So got those. I will change those. All right, so at least you guys see that I changed it. All right, public comment. Like I said, I don't see anybody else here.
Can I
No.
insert a quick question that I had from a public person
Oh, yeah.
as a question for the group? I never heard back from Chase, so I just want to toss it out there in case we could proceed for spring. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Um, I had a couple people, but one person in particular really get concerned that there's no longer an awning on the dog park. I'm looking at my notes, sorry. And so I did a little digging just to try to figure out on my own, because I know it gets dicey, right, when we're talking about rehabbing or restoring, fixing something. But so when I read through how the application came through to us, the dog park was created with recreation funds. And when I follow the CPA chart, the chart does say yes to rehabbing and restoring. So is that something we can, oh, sorry. It says yes for rehabbing or restoring it, but it says no to supporting funds.
I think
So
this would
just-
be, I think this would be restoring because I don't think someone else built it, correct?
I think so, but it was in the original application as far as what we were going to be funding
Yeah,
originally.
right.
Well, I thought the town, if I remember correctly, got a grant from someone to build that dog park.
With some CPA support, which helped to secure that grant. But yeah, most of it
Right.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why, we've got some leverage there, Barry.
But do we also maintain it?
Oh, no,
It's
no,
not really restoring it if it doesn't have, did it have an awning? I don't remember. Did it have an awning before?
An awning was put in at some point, and the awning is no longer there, and it is sadly missed.
But that's not, is it restoring or replacing?
Yeah,
We splitting, are we splitting hairs?
replacing would be sort of maintenance, but if the awning is something that's going to be vulnerable to weather damage, would something like more of a wooden structure that provides its own cover might be something more permanent, and that maybe we could fund that because that's different.
Well, then you'd have to make sure what kind of structure you were talking about, and will that need painting or upkeep or shingles or, I'm not saying it can't be done. I just, I don't think we want to be repairing it every 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah,
Quick question, Jess, with regards to the community garden. All right, that gazebo was built by the Scouts, right?
either Scouts or Neshoba Tech. We didn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know, because that wasn't part of the
Yeah.
request. While, the awning was part of the request in the beginning. And I don't know why it didn't get installed in the beginning.
It was installed, apparently.
Well, no, but somebody else, I think a private citizen built it, right? Julie, is that?
That's what I'm hearing. I couldn't find any documentation to know one way or the other.
Building the dog park, you mean, or
The awning part.
the awning? Oh, okay.
And just the awning. All right, I think, this is something we can probably, push a little bit, and find out a little bit more for you,
Okay.
Julie. And also too, I know that, I've spoken a little bit to Dan, our DPW director,
Mhm.
and let's see what else, because I know he was looking for some other additional items as well. So I'll put that on my to-do, okay?
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, because that was put in when Mark Wenzel was here, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
BW. Yeah. I don't even remember how many years that was. So
Oh, you've got the application there, right, Julie?
I don't have, that wasn't in my notes to chase.
Oh, okay.
I did have it at one point,
Okay.
but I would say it's at least 6 years.
I could tell you in a second.
All right, and I can also find out from town council too.
Yeah, I have it somewhere. Open CPC projects. The dog park. I'm scrolling. I'm still scrolling. Uh, well,
Don't worry.
okay. I should have had it here.
That's all right. Don't worry. All right, like I say, I'll talk to Dan. This is all gonna happen after town meeting.
Oh, yeah. No,
All right.
I just thought I'd start the conversation early so we had some time to get
Okay.
people moving if that's.
All right, that sounds good. And just, with regards to public comment, again, if anybody's watching this on YouTube, on APAC, YouTube channel, just give a holler over to Carly if you've got questions, and Carly Antonellis will go ahead and get in touch with the CPC, the committee itself, and we will get an answer back to you. So that'd be great. All right, I'm moving right along with committee reports. I'm just gonna, if I could go first with regards to correspondence and invoices. With regards to the correspondence, I had a meeting with a gentleman, I think I told you last time, about 63 Main Street, the asphalt parking lot that's right next to the barber shop. The gentleman is interested in creating a 4-story unit because it's part of form-based code downtown area, that they can do a 4-story. First floor will be commercial. The other 3 floors would be apartments. He was looking to do 100% affordable apartments, approximately 10 to 11 apartments. In talking with Alicia, who deals with Alicia Hersey, who is the she was right, community development office manager. She recommends not doing all 100%, and this does make sense. Is that if you have an individual who is say at that 80% mark, and all of a sudden they earn over that 80%, within a year they do have to find new housing, just
Okay.
because they've gone ahead and are able to, better themselves. But if they have 50-50, say 50% affordable and 50% market rate, they could move then to the market rate and not have to be evicted. And then one of the other ones can turn into the affordable unit. So I never really thought about it that way, but it does make sense. Instead of having somebody, move out, you have the flexibility.
Yep.
So they're thinking about making approximately 5 units affordable, and they're looking at the different rates of affordability. So I thought that was pretty nice. It was a preliminary meeting. Again, they're just, touching base, but they are, working with Dave Barry across the street for parking. And he's a Ayer resident. He's a vet. He's thinking, Delmar is his name. He's thinking of having some of the apartments be first access for veterans. So I think this is a real good thing for downtown, especially in that area, because I know a lot of people want to see more affordable housing, not only in the community, but put the units in the downtown area so that it's part of the MBTA, as well as it's close to Devon's, things like that. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that everything goes well. And that was, I went as being on the Affordable Housing Committee as well as CPC. So that is part of my committee report. We didn't have a meeting for Housing Authority. We didn't have a quorum. But they did have a picnic, and everybody loved the picnic. All right. Okay, next one, Jess, anything for,
I haven't been to the commission this last month because of knee replacement.
Yes.
So,
all right,
but doesn't seem like there's that much happening right now, so.
excellent. Julie?
Um, we have had actually Creative Materials on Willow Road is looking to expand their property. So we had a site walk and have been working with them. And the Lincoln Hills project continues.
All right. I know that the developer, Lincoln Development, Janet Fields, has come to the Affordable Housing Committee and asked if we, what type of housing would we like? And one of them will be one of the units in the duplex, and then a single family house. So we have, she's got, I gather it's 10%. So there's 3 units that we can have. And the committee's swaying towards a third unit, which would be the single family, as well as making one of those units ADA compliant. And we can try to find additional funds for it to be ADA compliant, that it's on a more level section of the development and everything. So they are trying to work with the community to get something that, again, the community needs. So,
Was that 1 unit in a duplex and then 2 single-family units, one of which would be ADA compliant?
correct. That's what we've been talking to them about.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. All right. Barry?
We're just getting ready for the Newton Street Saturday. So we've got a booth there, if you want to call it, or easy up. And just discussing about, not discussing, but trying to put out literature about what we do. And we still would like to try to get people interested in forming a historical society. I mean, we have not had one for a lot of years, and it's really needed. I mean, I know Ayer is small, but so isn't Shirley, and they have a historical society. But anyway, we're no different than anybody else. It's difficult to get volunteers. So,
Well, we were talking, yeah.
no, go ahead.
Kevin and Julie and I were talking to this one woman, and I think she's got historical as one of her passions. So hopefully they come and they can stop by your booth, because we did tell them about the Newton Street Festival. So
I've even gone so far as I've spoke to Mayor Mazzarella from Leominster, because they seem to put out a lot of different things every week. And I said, how do you get people to volunteer? I said, you have a lot of, he says, I just start by say, geez, can you give me an hour, or can you give me an hour and a half? And he said, they come and they end up staying longer. And that was his suggestion anyway. So,
all right.
I don't know if it would work here or not. Just
give it a try.
Yeah.
All right. Going to move on. Colleen?
I don't have much to report. Our last 2 meetings were all about the Devon's Crest Tenants Association funding request, which we approved. We did not meet this month, or we're not meeting till the end of October, so nothing else new.
All right. Kevin?
Well, I know you've been talking with Sarah a lot lately, so you two probably covered almost everything. I know that we're seeing if we can get CPC funding for the fencing and lights, and I know we couldn't do a covering over a new. We need new batting cages, and the batting cages are really a mess. But I don't. I think you talked about that with her also. I don't think that's possible.
Can I just say, is fencing and lights, that's at Peroni Park?
Yeah. Because the backstop is let's just say the backstop isn't facing the right direction. And it needs to be corrected over the next few years. So it's not an immediate concern. That's what we've been talking about lately. So, but nothing to report, really, honestly.
And really 71 Sandy Pond Road, that working group, just trying to come up with ideas that happened from the charrette that people gave feedback. So I thought that was a pretty good update on that. So, all right. And I think that's it. I don't have anything else on the agenda.
Oh,
So,
wait a minute. If I may, I have one more thing. We're also, or I'm working with the Cemetery Commission as the historical commission's designate, I guess. And then we're looking at restoring the howitzer at the cemetery. So, and I'm working with Dan Van Scott looking as well. So,
right.
Restoring the what?
the howitzer, the Civil War howitzer at Woodlawn.
Okay.
And also too, Dan has been in touch with me because of it being a historic site in Ayer. It would be available, CPA funds would be available to help restore some of the items there at the cemetery. And I did do some research on the coalition side. There have been multiple cemeteries that are historic that have received CPA funding to help restore the historic.
And I don't think that the chairperson, Sam Goodwin, was aware that it was there. And then once he was made aware, he wasn't aware that there were also GA, Grand Army of the Republic soldiers that are buried there, right around the howitzer as well. So I'm sorry, I just wanted to throw that in. So.
Excellent. That's good. Okay. If there's nothing else, I think we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. Barry makes the motion to adjourn. Do I get a second?
Second.
Aye.
All right. And all in favor, go aye.
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 Aye.